What's up, everyone? Today, I wanted to talk about a vampire film. Now, it's a vampire film you may not be familiar with. So, this is a vampire film called Children of the Night. It was actually done with the help and assistance and production help of Fangoria Magazine. In 1991, Fangoria Magazine did three films, and I think it was with, I guess, Columbia TriStar, which is owned by Sony. That's who put out the DVD. So they did do a DVD release of this. I remember watching it on cable back in the day. I can't remember what cable channel it premiered on. It had to have been HBO, Cinemax, or Showtime. I think it was probably HBO. But I definitely remember renting this one as well. And so this one is real intriguing as far as effects, as far as story, and as far as execution. Different from vampire films up until that point, and it's forgotten because it was a lower budget film. So in 1991, Fangoria started getting into the movie biz a little bit, and they did a movie called Severed Ties, and they did a movie called Mind Warp, and they did this Children of the Night. I will say Mind Warp did have Angus Scrimm, the tall man from Phantasm, in it, and also Bruce Campbell. Get well, Bruce. And this one is you're gonna see you if you watch this film, you'll see some familiar faces. So one familiar face you'll see. She went on to have an awesome 1993, which we're going to talk about in a video or two. We're going to talk about her in 1993. Amy Delenz. Amy Delenz is an actress. She acted mainly in the late 80s, early 90s. Early 90s, she was like popping. She was in a lot in the early 90s. And we're going to talk about those other films in a video or two down the road. So if you're watching this one, tune in in a day or two later, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about Amy Delenz, daughter of Mickey Delenz, the drummer for manufactured band The Monkees. And I didn't know that. That's the thing. I've always heard her name as Amy Delenz, and I've always heard her father, Mickey, his last name pronounced Dolenz. It's kind of like the Vinny and Carmine Appice in a piece. If you're not familiar, Carmine and Vinny Appice are brothers. So Carmine Appice, or Carmine Appice, excuse me. Carmine Appice drummed for Rod Stewart, and he'd been in what else was he in? I can't remember what else he was in. That was his biggest claim to fame was drumming for Rod Stewart. And his brother, Vinny, younger brother, ended up drumming when Bill Ward left Black Sabbath. And Vinny Appice, or Vinny Appice. So Carmine called himself Carmine Appice, and his brother Vinny called himself Vinny Appice. They're brothers. They pronounce the name differently. We're gonna dive off into music stuff anytime it's brought up because music is life. So
music is my life.
This is pretty. You can get this pretty cheap on eBay. I got it years ago, probably 15 years ago on eBay. Comes with a nice little insert there. So it was directed by Tony Randall. Now you may know Tony Randall as he directed Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. He directed this, but he also did Amityville 1992. It's About Time, my favorite Amityville sequel. So his early 90s were pretty poppin' too. He also directed a little movie I'm going to be talking about in the next video called... I'm going to be talking about that and a couple other ones. Anyway, so this one is very interesting. It's something that we're so detached from monster movies now. Everything is paranormal. Everything is elevated horror. Everything is, there's got to be some kind of deep layer, and then you find out someone is supernatural or something like that. And I love the supernatural. Monsters are supernatural. But I feel like we've gotten away, the horror realm, the horror film land has gotten away much too far away from monsters. Now they are coming back. Nosferatu did gangbusters at the box office. Guillermo del Toro just did Frankenstein. It's not like monsters are completely dead. They're definitely not dead. But I think a lot of people don't enjoy monster movies as much as they should. It's because I think a lot of younger people aren't exposed and didn't grow up watching kind of goofy and low budget or B movie horror monster movies. But also, like, look at Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula. Like that is that's had as much prestige, if not more, than Nosferatu had a couple years ago when it came out. But this one also has Garrett Morris in it. Garrett Morris was Chocolate Charlie in The Stuff, which we just talked about. The Stuff. If you haven't seen The Stuff, do check out 1985. Just a legendary film. And this one is so creepy, and it's goofy now. In hindsight, now I can see it's goofy, but I think that's its charm too, is its goofiness. Now, Evan McKenzie plays a priest in this. This dude, I was not familiar with him at all. He was in Ghoulies Go to College, and Peter DeLuise is in it too. That dude's directed a bunch of stuff. He plays like a school teacher, and Evan McKenzie plays like a priest, and they had kind of team up to take over a small town that's overrun with vampires. And Amy DeLenz plays, a rambunctious teenager. Karen Black is in this. Karen Black, modern horror fans know her as Mother Firefly in House of a Thousand Corpses. She was later replaced by Leslie Easterbrook. But yeah, she passed away in 2013, but she's a super well-known actress. Her film credits are crazy. She's been in so much, but she was really like a B-list actress. She wasn't like super well-known. If you didn't, you walk up to someone on the street, no one's going to know Karen Black. A lot of horror fans will know her because Rob Zombie did put her in House of a Thousand Corpses. Granted, she's been in a lot. I'm not saying like that's the only thing people know her from. But horror fans, she's in our zeitgeist more so now than she would be because Rob put her in House of a Thousand Corpses, without a doubt. She turns into a vampire in this. The effects in this are awesome. And I think K&B did the effects, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, K&B did the effects on this. So it's top notch. But it's such a weird, fun, it feels like a sci-fi movie kind of, back when sci-fi movies were pretty all right. But this one, it just has like, it's always stuck with me. I remember watching this back in the day and just loving it. And again, it was one of those ones, I think for years I didn't remember the name of it. I just saw it and didn't really remember the name of it. Later find out the name and I was just like, I have to own this. And unfortunately, I don't know if we'll ever get a Blu-ray or high definition release of this, but we do have this nice DVD that looks like it was put out probably early 2000s, 2003. Yeah, so this came out in 2003, and this is probably the best we're going to get. You can get this on eBay, I'm sure. I'm not sure how much for. Unfortunately, it's full screen. It's kind of what you got to deal with, but it was put out. The studio that really financed it was Columbia TriStar, owned by Sony. But yeah, the effects in it are awesome, and it just has a weird feel. Like it's an odd movie, and it's like comedy. It is like kind of a black comedy. There's a lot of comedy to it. But when you're a kid, like things are more scary than they are supposed to be. Like it took me years. I remember people would talk about Return of the Living Dead, that it was a horror comedy. In hindsight now, of course, yes, it is. There's so much fun and there's so much goofiness to Return of the Living Dead. But at the time, watching Return of the Living Dead as a kid, that like freaked me out. Watching it as a 6-7-year-old, and loving it, but obviously not picking up that it was like, I pick up on things like The Burbs. The Burbs is a horror comedy, obviously super funny, and Tom Hanks is in there. But then there were some films that were goofy that weren't supposed to be funny, but they were actually hilarious. Or I guess when you're a kid, they don't seem like they should be funny, but then you grow up and you're like, actually, yeah, it's obviously hilarious. But Children of the Night kind of has that flair for sure, but it also just has like kind of a creepy vibe to it. It just does. And that main dude who's in it, who plays the school teacher, Peter DeLuise, he was Tug in Solar Babies. If you haven't seen Solar Babies, Solar Babies is the sole reason we have Jamie Gertz and Jason Patric in The Lost Boys together, because I believe, I can't remember. I think Jamie Gertz recommended Jason Patric, or it was Jason Patric that recommended her to Joel Schumacher. I can't remember which one. I can't remember which one it was, but they, because they had worked together on Solar Babies, that's why they ended up working together per recommendation from either one of the two. That's how they ended up in Lost Boys together. They already had some on-screen chemistry in Solar Babies. But yeah, that dude, Evan McKenzie plays, or not Evan McKenzie, Peter DeLuise plays Tug in Solar Babies. Check out Solar Babies. Really weird, low-budget, sci-fi, futuristic film. Out of print now, Kino Lorber. It's out of print, but you can still find it. A little expensive though. You're looking at like 80 to $100, something like that. But Children of the Night, yeah, this is, if you like vampire films, I love vampire films. It's my favorite kind of monster. Anytime I can find a vampire film that I love, I do have a very, very, very soft spot for werewolf films. So I will say that werewolf films are very near and dear to my heart. But vampire movies are comfort food. They are 100% comfort food. And this one has some really awesome looking vampires in it. K&B did the effects, like I said. So go on eBay, see if you can find it. And yeah, this one is super, super fun. And add it to your collection. Let me know what you think of it. If you've seen it, comment below. Let me know what you think of it, because I grew up loving this one. I actually have the Fangoria edition where they did the cover. There was a cover story for it when they were putting this one out. So that one's and it's got the main vampire on it. But yeah, the dude that plays Chocolate Charlie is like the town drunk. Garrett Morris. He's amazing in this. Is his name Maddie? Something like that. I haven't seen this movie in a few years. I mean, I grew up watching it. I watched it a bunch, but I haven't seen it in a few years. But yeah, check it out. Let me know what you think. If you've seen it, let me know what you think as well. And yeah, we'll be talking about Amy Delenz as well. Her 1993 was pretty poppin'. So if you stayed to the end of this video, you know that we'll be talking about her 1993, where she released 3 horror films. Or she didn't release them, but she was in 3 horror films in 1993. And yeah, I love them all. I love all 3 of them. So check it out. Check out Children of the Night, and we'll see you tomorrow. And yeah, check out all of our videos. Let us know you're listening. Subscribe, like, interact, do whatever on Instagram at Heart Guide Media. Check us out.